Okay, this is fantasy booking number 3. This one's titled Fed Up Sharkboy. Uh, I wanted to write this one for a little while, about one of the most unlikely wrestlers that is in wrestling in TNA, which I'm still surprised he's even still there, even though I think it's BS to have him as a referee for live events, and that's Sharkboy. I've always been a fan of him, and I always wish they did more with him. He's kind of the underrated guy, and yeah, he's a weird gimmick, but he's very talented in the ring, and no one gives him credit for it, so I decided to write this one for him. The idea was, this is a title match that happens on Impact. So, since we know a lot of title matches for the X Division title happened on Impact, so the way it starts off is, Sharkboy talks to Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff that he wants to wrestle tonight. They tell him you have to make an impact, and he says he will. Kazarian wins the X Division title over Amazing Red because I wanted a credible champion, someone that would be credible for the title, for Kazarian to win it over. So I picked Amazing Red because they would have a killer match, with the assist of Doug Williams. They begin to attack Red after the match, and Sharkboy runs out with a steel chair and hits when his music hits. He hits Doug Williams with the chair and then picks him up and hits him with the stunner. The following week, Sharkboy has a match with Douglas Williams. Sharkboy pulls off the victory. And Douglas is shocked, has a looking shock on his face that I just lost to a guy with a man dressed as a shark. Kazarian attacks Sharkboy, and later that night, Kazarian defeats the Brian Kendrick. Sharkboy comes out, begins beating on the champ. He hits Kazarian with the title and leaves with it. Pretty much he hijacks the title. The following week, which is the third week, Kazarian comes out and says Sharkboy should give him back his title. Sharkboy comes out and says, if you want this title back, give me a non-title match. Sharkboy cuts a promo on how he is tired of never getting his chance at a title, and how he's been there for 8 years and hasn't accomplished anything. And Sharkboy ends up pinning Kazarian with his old move, the deep sea drop, out of nowhere. That's how I had the match. It's pretty much Kazarian being down on him. Sharkboy builds momentum, and then he just pulls off his old finisher out of nowhere. The following week, Mike Tenay does a sit-down interview with him, with Sharkboy, and Douglas Williams, and pretty much the whole thing is talking about where his career went, and why he hasn't been on TV, and how he is very motivated in winning this title, and how much he wants this title, since, he feels like he never got his chance to shine, and this is pretty much his redemption in some sense. Douglas Williams and Kazarian issue a tag team challenge to Sharkboy and a partner of his choosing. Come to find out, his partner of his choosing is Kiyoshi. Just because I put Kiyoshi there, just because he's another talented guy that's rarely used, and I wanted to use wrestlers that never were used a whole lot and never really got a chance to shine, so I picked Kiyoshi. Even though he's had chances, but I feel like they really haven't given it. He hasn't really gotten much of a chance now, so I decided to put him in this one. And backstage, and Kiyoshi ends up winning it by pinning Williams with a moonsault. Backstage, Flair is upset and kicks Douglas Williams out of the group. And next week, Sharkboy will get his title shot against Kazarian. In this match, Kazarian is getting, next week, which is the final week that he wins it, which is the 5th week, it's on Impact. Kazarian is getting a pep talk from Ric Flair and says how he's going to be at ringside. Sharkboy cuts a promo saying it's his time to shine and it's his finally time to hold the title in TNA. And during the match, Sharkboy and him it's going back and forth. Kazarian is, beating the crap out of him, and Sharkboy is fighting back. He's pretty much, Ric Flair is pulling all the tricks just to help Kazarian win the title. The referee catches Flair, sends him to the back. Kazarian is beating down on Sharkboy. Sharkboy is still fighting back. Kazarian gets really frustrated and tries to use the title belt, but Sharkboy hits the stunner and goes for the 3 count, and 1, 2, 3. Sharkboy, the new TNA X Division champion. So that's what I put for it. So Sharkboy ends up being a champion for the very first time, and pretty much it's his journey